Wow. Meow. Hello and welcome or welcome back to the stream. Why am I sideways? Because I played with my camera. Hang on. Let me try and fix it. No, I'm a sideways girl. Living in a sideways world. Hello, Dango. Yeah. Now I just look like I'm drunk. And I wish I was. Hello, Ricochet. Hang on. Ugh. Nope, did that make it worse? Probably. I got a new chair as well. I got a pink chair. So, that's pretty exciting. What was I going to say? Oh, hello and welcome. Or welcome back to the stream. That's the one. That's the one I was going to say. Hello from a motel room in Gippsland. Ooh, are you getting freaky in Gippsland, Delta? I mean, good for you. At least one of us is. Yes. No, I'm sure you're there for very legitimate reasons, sir. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. All right. My brain, no, sadly just work. Aw. Yeah, let's do the New York Timesy stuff. Yay. I'm so short with my new chair. I like it though. Alright. Spelling bee. Remember to put it on the screen because we are very smart. I had ice cream with M&Ms before I started streaming because my throat was so sore. And it was really good. I put it in a cup because I need to load my dishwasher. There's literally no anything. Everything is dirty and I really have to get my shit together, but I've just been so sick. I haven't done the dishes and it's my own fault. It is my own fault. I did, however, do a load of washing and hang that out, so you know, small victories, guys. But yeah, M&Ms were half price at Coles yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, whenever I went to Coles. So I bought and ice cream was half price. I was like, I can make my own McFlurry, look at me. And I did, and that's what I did. And it was amazing. Probably, I don't know. Okay, so what letters do we have? We have the letter C, the letter K, the letter H, the letter N, the letter G, the letter I. We have to use the letter O. Oh, we could almost make Grok, but there's no R. Honk. Honking. We can have honking. Oh, yeah. Gnocchi. Gnocchi. Oh, I think it's got an H in it. I think gnocchi's got an H in it somewhere, doesn't it? Like this, maybe? Yeah, it's got an H in it. Wow, my dyslexia, no, like spelt a word right. Look at me going. Oh, I can have going. Gone, mate. Fucking gone. Knowing? Oh no, there's no W. Well, I got too big for my britches. Chick. Choking? Can we have choking? Hocking. We can have hocking. Oh, we were solid. We were solid. Oh, we could have had conning too. I didn't look at the chatting time. Oh, I got a Sailor Moon mouse for my computer today and a Sailor Moon mouse pad. And I got Sailor Moon, like, freaking fan covers coming from America because they 3D print them. Yeah, I'm just living out my dreams here, guys. All right, crossword time. Parts of a museum dinosaur exhibition. Probably bones. Probably bones. Feel like that fits. Oh. Smiling faces with sunglasses, for one. Smiling faces with sunglasses. Emoji? Emoji, I think? That's an emoji, isn't it? An emote or an emoji? Let's just go with that. Look, we're just all guessing. A painter's stand. Is that an easel? How do you spell easel? How do you spell easel? A serious question, because you guys know I'm actually just dumb. But I reckon, is it E-I-S-E-L or something like that? Is that like along the right path? I would just like normally just type it and hope spell check is close enough for ease. Oh, okay. It's an A, not an I. Cool. I would have spelt that wrong. Easel. I feel like that's the right answer. Restaurant item often asked by signing in the air. The check? The bill? I think they have checks in America, right? Can we have the check? Oh, do they spell check with a Q or with a CK? Because I feel like they don't spell check properly in America. I feel like they spell it like maybe CHECK, not like how we spell it with a QUE for 5 letters. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Overly slapdash. Tree with smooth grey bark. That's beech. Beech, beech, beech. Nebraska city that's home to Union Pacific headquarters. I assume that's Omaha because it fits. Features of bloodhounds that are said to be 1,000 times stronger than humans. Noses? Boot from a game? Eject. Smooth as silk. Not far off. As silks. Overly... Huh. What did we do? Hasty. Hasty works. Silky. Yay. We did it. That was actually super fast, guys. That was actually super fast. All right. That was way too easy. Yeah, either it was easy or we are becoming geniuses. I like to believe that it's the latter. I like to think we made our brains. We work those neural pathways and we develop the synapses to become smart. It wasn't an easy. We become smart. We did, guys. We are geniuses now. There's no disputing the brains. The brains in this room right now. The brains are definitely in the room with us right now, guys. Oh no. All right. We got boar, borg, poke, or pokey, it could be, I guess. Devil, scroll, Vulcan. Oh, is this gonna be like, what is that show called? Like Star Trek or something? I think they have like Borgs and Vulcans and stuff. I've never actually watched it. Drag, King, Elf, Punch, Batman, Sinner, Graph, Click, Pierce, Hover. These might be things that are made up for TV shows like Borg, Vulcan. Elf wasn't made up by TV shows. Okay, I take it back. Alright, let's shuffle again. We got Drag, Batman, Hover, Graph. Did I read these already? I don't know. Boar, Pierce, Vulcan, Scroll, King, Devil, Elf, Click, Borg, Punch, Poke, Sinner. Punch, poke, drag, click. Oh wait, these could be things to do with a mouse. drag, hover, click, scroll. Oh, so take off poke, go with scroll, go like this. Mouse actions. I think I might become smarter. Yes, because I can put together a sentence. I take that back. I definitely have not become smarter because I can't even put a sentence together. So that's yeah. It's been a long day for me. I have the flu and as you can imagine, I feel like shit most of the time, and now I feel even more like shit because my body is just it's just dumb, really. What song is that? I'm singing the Sailor Moon Crystal, theme. I think it's called like Moon Pride or something. It's not like the normal Sailor Moon. I think there might be a big delay on this stream. I'm not sure. Bore, pierce. Oh, maybe there's something to make a hole. Bore a hole, pierce a hole, punch a hole, poke a hole. Pokemon. Perforate. There we go. Oh, Ricochet got there at the same time as me. I see you, Ricochet. I just looked over and you had the same idea as me. I don't know about these other ones. Got no idea, gonna have some tea for my throat, cause it hurts. Ba 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 ba. So refreshing. Da do 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 do. Wow wow. Borg, Vulcan. I feel like Borg and Vulcan are gonna go together. What's a graph? With an F. Borg, Elf, Vulcan, and Batman as fictional characters, but that might be too obvious. Yeah. I was thinking something along the lines of that too. But then what's King, Devil, Sinner, and Grok with an F? Graph? With an F? King, Devil, Bat... Oh, okay. Crown, horns, cows, Santa hats. Okay, I got you. They've all got some fascinating headwear. We could go with that. King, Devil... Elf. What's the other one? Sorry. What is a cows? A cows? A cookie. Graphy is like a count in Old Prussia. Oh. Okay. Nope. Batman's cow, his bat hat. Oh, I see. I misunderstood what you were saying. Well, still wrong. Borg, Vulcan, Elf, Batman. Nope. Alright, we've only got one left. Help me, I'm dumb. Somebody help me, I'm a bimbo. You'd be surprised how many times as a woman, like, that helps you when you just go, help me, I'm dumb. And some nice guy will be like, I'll help you. That works. That works a lot. Wow. Maybe what? What's the weather like in Gippsland, Delta? I got some milk from Gippsland once. It was Jersey milk, and I got it because it's super creamy, and I made hot chocolates with it. But that was last winter. This winter, I've had like hot chocolate twice. I just forgot that it was an option. So I just have marshmallows in my pantry. They're probably just gonna sit there. People with pointy ears? Ooh, people with pointy ears. You know what? That works. That does work. Devil, Elf, Batman, and Vulcan all have pointy ears. Ones with pointy ears. You did it. You did it. You broke the conditioning. Alex Jones is proud of you. You get 1 Alex Jones points. It's cloudy in Gippsland. What is there to do there? I don't know. Have I ever been there? Have I? I don't know. I feel like I've driven around a good... Who the fuck is Borg? I don't know. It's like a sci-fi thing because I hear people talk about the Borg all the time and they're like... You can pick mushrooms in Gippsland. Yeah, you can make your relatives... you can make the rellies a beef welly. It's delicious. It said Wimbledon. Oh, Steffi Graf. She was a tennis player. I remember her. I think. My babushka always used to watch the tennis. And I used to get annoyed because I don't like it. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Last name as Borg is funny. Yeah. I've never been able to watch Star Trek. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you have to maybe grow up with it or whatever. I feel like coming to it as an adult is hard. I feel like it's hard, and I feel like I don't have the commitment. Oh, so something happened in the last few days. It's something I've been talking about. A prediction or a hope that I had. But the Irish president has been talking about some stuff that I was hoping about, you know, with Palestinian statehood being recognized by the majority of UN members, that perhaps some type of military intervention may be able to take place to, you know, make sure aid gets to where it's supposed to go. And sorry, just having some technical issues, aka me being a bimbo. All right. So, Irish president urges UN to intervene in Gaza, citing destruction of an entire people. I don't know if there's any videos about this, but, you know, we're going to do our best. We're going to make our own video, guys. Maybe the videos were the friends that we met along the way. Irish President Michael D. Higgins has called on the UN to take urgent action in Gaza, asking Secretary General Antonio Guterres, I don't know if that's how you say your name, sorry if it's not, mate, I apologize, to invoke powers under Chapter 7 to bypass Security Council gridlock and deliver humanitarian aid. Andalou reports. In a video shared by RTE News, he describes the crisis as incredible destruction of an entire people. Are we to watch children starving, women dehydrated, or trying to feed their children? So something must happen. President Higgins expressed support for the UN Security Council, Antonio Guterres, to invoke powers under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, a mechanism that allows for enforcement action, including the use of force without Security Council approval if deemed necessary. I am personally in favour of the Secretary General of the UN using Chapter 7 procedure, by which, whether or not the Security Council agrees, even if there's a blockage, The rights exist for the Secretary General to seek to put together an international defense of a corridor. Referring to blocked humanitarian aid, Higgins added, there are 6,000 trucks with enough food for 3 months, and it has been blocked, and it's outrageous. The Israeli army, rejecting international calls for a ceasefire, has pressured a brutal offensive on Gaza since the 7th of October 2023, killing more than 60,000 Palestinians, most of them women and children. Last November, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu and his former defense minister, Yoav Gallant, for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court for Justice for its war on the enclave. And that's what I was talking about. That's what I was hoping would happen. Once Palestine is recognized by the majority of the members, which it looks like that's going to happen, then perhaps the UN can look at sending peacekeeping force, which would be, the defense forces of willing countries to sending people. And hopefully the Australian Defence Force would be a party to that. I would like to see that. That would be cool. But I think definitely like the constitutional monarchies under King Charles III all seem to be down. Canada seems to be down. The UK seems to be down. And I think we could definitely get Australia and New Zealand to be down. So I think that would be sick. Panda, is the Irish PM confirmed? Is this like confirmed to be real? Is that? Well, let's see if we can find. This is shared by RTE News, which is an Irish newspaper. So let's see if we can find it. Let's look for keywords. And we'll include chapter 7. You thought he was the ex-PM? There was an ex-president that spoke at the United Nations. Is this the current? You know what? I should know who the current. It says the Ireland president. It doesn't say former, but it could be that they use the same verbiage as America, where they refer to someone as president even if they're not the current president. I should check that. Because they have a president and a prime minister, like a lot of republics do. Everybody's referring to him as the president. He might have been the prime minister and he might be the president, because they have both. They have both, because that's typically countries that become republics from the British Empire, obviously with America being a notable exception. Like I know Czechia has a prime minister and a president. A lot of countries that have separated from another country or become independent recently, the way that they format their country and their political system is usually that they'll have a prime minister and a president. So maybe that's perhaps where the confusion's coming from. But every source that I'm looking at is, so I know this is a TV station and a newspaper in Ireland because I've seen it when I was there. And yeah, so this looks legit. But anyway, there's a video. So let's watch the video. It's referring to him as the president in the Irish RTE. So I'm going to assume they know who their president is. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure they have both a prime minister and a president in Ireland. Let me just double check. President and PM. President and Prime Minister. in Ireland, the head of state is the president, currently Michael D. Higgins. So, yep, we're good with him. And the head of government is the Irish word. Sorry, don't know how to say it. Can't speak Irish. Is currently Michael Martin. So he's the equivalent of a prime minister. Yeah, look, Irish is a very hard language, and I'm not going to attempt that. I'm not going to attempt that. Look, I can pronounce the Siobhans, I can pronounce the Aoifes, I can pronounce the Keevers, I can pronounce the Neves, you know, some of the weird Irish names I'm down with. But yeah, not gonna try. Are you gonna tell me how to say it? What's the pronunciation? Anyway, sorry, Irish people. I don't know how to say it, but he's the prime minister. So he would be referred to as the prime minister in, I guess, English speaking publications. But we do like that Irish people are keeping the Irish language alive. We do like that. After a good 700-800 years of British occupation, they managed to keep their language alive. So we like that. We like that for them. It's nice. All right, so this is the video. So let's watch the video.
I cannot really stand in a public venue and give a public speech and speak about our language when I see such incredible destruction of an entire people taking place. Are we to watch children starving, women dehydrated who are trying to feed their children? So something must happen. Something must. I am personally in favor of the Secretary General of the United Nations using the procedures that are there in the Charter of the United Nations to use a Chapter 7, procedure, by which I mean, in fact, actually, that whether or not the Security Council agrees, and even if there's a blockage, the right exists for the Secretary General to seek to put together an international defense of a corridor. There are 6,000 trucks with enough food for 3 months, and it has been blocked, and it is outrageous.
There you go. He said it, so it's all good. It's all verified now. We do like to fact check though, Delta. Thank you for making sure that I double checked everything. I just did like a rudimentary Google this morning, so it is always really good to double check our sources before we go and say stuff. So, you know, we do like that. But yeah, I think that is the direction that we're heading in. Unfortunately, September is, you know, still a good 4 weeks away. 3 or 4 weeks away. So that sucks. I mean, we would rather people do something now. I think they should probably convene an emergency. I think they should have an emergency convening of the UN, honestly, to vote on Palestine, and then activate Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. I believe that would be the way to go. That's what I will be praying for and crossing my toes and my fingers and, you know, anything else on my body that can cross. I do have pretty bad arthritis, but we try. Oh, it was so embarrassing today. I had to get people to help me open like my water bottle and like my drink, like my protein drink that I like had for lunch and stuff. Because sometimes when I'm really, really, really sick, my arthritis can get so bad I can't open anything, and it's so embarrassing. I'm like a little baby, like a weak little baby. Please help me open my stuff so I can have my drink. How embarrassing. Oh, I'm in my own feed. We do like to see that. Possum Magic. That's a cute. That is a cute book. Possum Magic is the cutest kids book. All right, what should we watch? You were cooking, so you're a bit behind? How dare you? How dare you feed yourself, Hyperbovian? How dare. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But what's to stop USA vetoing? So Chapter 7, specifically Chapter 7 of the UN in dire emergencies allows the other member nations to circumvent the Security Council and the permanent members. So Charter 7 is for like very extreme cases, which I believe the starvation and genocide of people in Gaza definitely would constitute the type of scenario that Chapter 7 was designed to negate. And basically, yeah, it would allow member nations to just bypass, circumvent the permanent members, the nation states with the veto power. But yeah, we should actually read Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. I mean, it's going to be long. We're going to have to search to find the section that would pertain to what we're talking about. I didn't actually go into it this morning. I was going to go over it and familiarize myself with it, but I just didn't know if it was going to be particularly interesting to anybody. But we should be able to find it online. Look, like if the entirety of the Crimes Act of New South Wales since 1901 is on the internet, surely, and all its amendments, surely we can find. Oh, somebody did it for me. We do like that. Oh, it's about 200 words. Okay, I thought it was going to have a lot of subsections, but that's okay. If there's 7 words, you know, we do. Where's 7? Chapter 7, action with respects to threats to the peace. Oh, okay. So there's, why is it starting at Articles 30? Oh, okay, because I get it. The other articles constituted, like, Articles 1 and 2 constituted Chapter 1. Okay, I've got it. I've got where we are. All right, so let's read. The Security Council shall determine the existence of any threat to the peace, a breach of the peace, or act of aggression, and shall make recommendations or decide what measures shall be taken in accordance with Articles 41 and 42 to maintain or restore international peace and security. In order to prevent an aggravation of the situation, the Security Council may, before making the recommendations or deciding upon the measures provided for in Article 39, call upon the parties concerned to comply with such provisional measures as deemed necessary or desirable. Such provisional measures shall be without prejudice to the rights, claims, or position of the parties concerned. The Security Council shall duly take account of failure to comply with such provisional measures. I need a sip. Article 41. The Security Council may decide what measures, not involving the use of armed force, are to be employed to give effect to its decision, and may call upon the members of the United Nations to apply such measures. These may include complete or partial interruption of economic relations and of rail, sea, air, postal, telegraphic, radio, and other means of communication, and the severance of diplomatic relations. That's what I've been talking about thus far. I think Australia should have already done that, but anyway. Should the Security Council consider that measures provided for in Article 41 would be inadequate or have proved to be inadequate, it may take such action by air, sea, or land forces. This is what we want to... Or land forces, so we're looking at Article 42 specifically so far. All land forces may be necessary to maintain or restore international peace and security. Such action may include demonstrations, blockade, and other operations by sea or land forces of members of the United Nations. Article 43. All members of the United Nations, in order to contribute to the maintenance of international peace and security, undertake to make available to the Security Council on its call and in accordance with a special agreement or agreements, armed forces, assistance, and facilities, including rites of passage necessary for the purpose of maintaining international peace and security. Such agreement or agreements shall govern the numbers and types of forces, the degree of readiness and general location, and the nature of the facilities and assistance to be provided. The agreement or agreement shall be negotiated as soon as possible on the initiative of the Security Council. They shall be concluded between the Security Council and members or between the Security Council and groups of members and shall be subject to ratification by the signatory states in accordance with their respective constitutional processes. Article 44. When the Security Council has decided to use force, it shall, before calling upon a member not represented on it to provide armed forces in fulfillment of the obligations assumed under Article 43, invite that member, if the member so desires, to participate in the decisions of the Security Council concerning the employment of contingents of that member's armed forces. Okay. This is, is everybody following this, or do you want me to expand? In order to enable the United Nations to take urgent military measures, members shall hold immediately available National Air Force contingents for combined international enforcement action. The strength and degree of readiness of these contingents and planned for the combined action shall be determined within the limits laid down in the special agreement or agreements referred to in Article 43 by the Security Council and with the assistance of the Military Staff Committee. Article 46. Plans for the application of arms force shall be made by the Security Council with the assistance of the Military Staff Committee. There shall be established a Military Staff Committee to advise and assist the Security Council. Okay, so they would need to establish this Military Staff Committee to, I guess, liaise with the process, to advise and assist the Security Council on all questions relating to the Security Council's military requirements for the maintenance of international peace and security. All right, so it does seem like there is a way. It does seem like there is a way to circumvent the veto vote of the Yankee Doodles. And in any case, even if there isn't, like, America ignores the UN all the time. A lot of countries that are considered, you know, legitimate states ignore the UN all the time. The UN didn't want Iraq to get invaded. They didn't want Iraq to get invaded. It still got invaded. Like, America will hold up the UN when it suits them and ignore them when it doesn't suit them. So, look, I think this is a way to sort of like do it legitimately, you know, in air quotes, so that politicians, you know, can feel good about it and perhaps, like, you know, justify it to their constituents. But I still think like we know how Australia feels about this by now. Look, a good 300,000 people marching in the middle of it, pissing down rain on a gloomy Sunday in the middle of winter in Sydney on a bridge which cops a lot of wind at that time of year, I think really shows how strongly people feel about the situation. So, yeah, I don't think Albo's going to have a problem in terms of community backlash. But we do know that the UK and Canada and Australia and New Zealand have been on the back channels discussing this situation. So I don't doubt that we see movement on it. But look, at this point, enough people have already died, and, you know, we should have started military intervention a long time ago. And I would like to see Netanyahu and his little cronies in handcuffs. So let's go. Let's do it. It's the Australian way. Let's have a punch on. Let's have a punch on. We can do it. A punch on for the greater good of humanity. Which I believe most pub fights really are, if you think about it. It's just a micro scale, and this is a macro scale. You know, sometimes someone's mouthing off and I'm just... You won't say what you want to say. Yeah. Sometimes it's good not to get banned off the internet, Delta. Unless you have a very powerful, rich relatives, you unfortunately can't say whatever you want. And that's something that we have to navigate. What Israel's total occupation of Gaza would mean for Palestinians. All right, let's do this. And then we can probably watch some cute stuff. Vapor bust. Oh god, do people vape? Isn't it like just as bad for you as smoking? I like people thinking that I look way younger than I am, so I stay away from the prematurely aging habits. But if ciggies were cheap and they weren't bad for your health and they didn't make you ugly, oh my god. The real crime here is vaping? Yeah. If you want to look hot, it is. Doesn't it cause a lot of like lung problems? Almost as many as like actual ciggies. Durries, if you will. Smoking the durries. Alright. What Israel's total occupation of Gaza would mean for Palestinians.
Well, now on one of our top stories, the Israeli Prime Minister reportedly backing a plan for the total occupation of Gaza. It comes as calls continue for more aid to be allowed into Gaza, with more starvation deaths reported in the territory. Global Affairs editor Laura Tingle has the details.
The Security Cabinet is basically all now Netanyahu loyalists. All the people who were in place at the time of the October 7 attacks have been sacked or have walked. And so these are all handpicked people of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, because even people in his own party or in his own coalition, because I believe he had to form a coalition with other minority parties to form government. It's kind of like how the Liberal Party in Australia can't form government in their own right. They have to have the Nationals because like nobody likes them and they smell and they're stupid and they smell and their mum dresses them funny and they smell like cabbage. I could continue. But yeah, so he's only surrounded by people now that 100% agree with him, because anybody that had any type of morals freaking left, right? Actually, cigarettes have never been experimentally studied either. Well, yeah, like that's what when you do research at uni, like first year research, and you're learning about the ethics of studies, that's like an example that they use, right? Well, we have enough statistical data, that's right, without testing it explicitly, with the hypothesis being cigarettes can kill you. Oh, it's that song. Da, 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 da. Okay, stop getting songs in your head. I have such a problem with my scatterbrain. But yeah, so it's unethical to have a experiment with the hypothesis for research purposes. Cigarettes cause cancer, or cigarettes kill you, and then, you know, recruit test subjects for that experiment, knowing that you go see whether or not they're going to die. You can't have that experiment. And yeah, that's ethics, guys. That's ethics 101. Perhaps we can teach Israel about basic ethics. I think they need a few classes in that.
Despite that, we're hearing reports that there is conflict and certainly confusion about whether this is a really good idea or not. Now, the Prime Minister's office has put out a statement in the wake of those meetings saying that the IDF will do whatever the Security Committee has suggested should be done. But that's effectively him, the Chief of the Defence Force, the Defence Minister and a couple of others. And, you know, it's not much of a, it's not like the whole cabinet or anything like that, but I think this shows the extent to which Benjamin Netanyahu is now basically hostage to the far-right members of his government who are insisting on.
I think Benjamin Netanyahu is the far right of his party. I think he is the far right of his party. I don't think that man needs any encouragement. I don't think he needs any encouragement. He's just happy that he's found his little butt buddies, right? The people that are like, you know, in full accordance with him. So he gets to do the mwah ha 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 and rub his fingers together like a freaking cartoon villain. Look at him. Look at them. What is this haircut, mate? Who told you to put gel in your hair? Look. No, I'm not giving you fashion advice, actually. You don't deserve it. Let's continue.
The obliteration of the Palestinians one way or another.
How much of a change of tack is this for Benjamin Netanyahu, though? And is this something of a gamble for him?
I think it's a change of tack and it's a gamble because there's a lot of hostility building up within Israel to what's going on, to the ongoing war, and particularly this proposal to take over all of Gaza. There are three areas that the Israeli Defence Forces don't control, which is only about 25% of Gaza, are these areas where they believe the remaining hostages are kept. And so families of hostages believe that if they go into these areas, it's basically signing a death warrant for those hostages, particularly after some hostages were killed as Israeli Defence Forces approached in other areas.
What would this mean for people on the ground in Gaza, though, if this plan were to go ahead?
Well, you know, the suffering in Gaza has obviously been already unimaginable. There are these three small pockets of the region which have not been affected yet.
Jesus.
Presumably this would involve the destruction of those remaining sections and essentially leave the population with absolutely nowhere to go. So even worse, and no.
The evil man has literally leveled the place and is culling the population, and there are still people that say that it's hyperbolic, it's hyperbole to say that there's a genocide going on and that there's a leveling of a society, of a civilization, when there 100% is. The indigenous people of the area are being eradicated. It's 21st century colonization. And like,
sign, despite sort of assurances that the humanitarian situation is improving.
If the level of opposition from within the Israeli public is increasing with news of this reported plan, does that have any influence? Does that have any influence on Benjamin Netanyahu?
Well, the analysts in the region are saying not really, because essentially the Prime Minister is in this position where if he leaves, he is vulnerable to court actions. So there's a lot of cynicism that he's basically doing this to preserve his own position. But without a doubt, if he doesn't go ahead with this, it's basically somewhat an admission of failure that the policy of warfare hasn't worked until now.
Onto the humanitarian side in Gaza now.
I thought they were doing this to free the hostages. Oh, they forgot about their pretext for destroying a people, for committing a genocide, for destroying, you know, millennia-old ancestral homes. Like, they forgot about that for a second, didn't they? They're just fully mask off now. Mask off, yeah, we leveled it. Now it's our turn to go in and occupy. Oh, you got to get rid of those pesky Palestinians so we can build, you know, our beachside resorts for our, you know. Just watching our words, guys. We're just watching our words because I don't have a Fortune 500 executive dad and an uncle who owns his own media platform. I'm just a poor girl from a poor family. Hello, Mr. Love, number one. Nice to see you.
Now, Laura, some aid has been allowed through by Israel. There have been stark warnings, though, from the global spokesperson for UNICEF, that's Australian James Elder, about how much more aid is needed.
Yes, I mean, essentially they're letting in 100 trucks when they need 500 trucks, and we've got those airdrops which are, you know, barely touching the sides of the demands for food, and I think even President Trump is acknowledging that more needs to be done, though he's still sort of staying on the sidelines, if you like, and saying that you know, that the Americans are giving money to Israel to get food in, so he's skirting around the issue.
So this new total occupation of Gaza idea comes amid growing international moves to revive the two-state solution. How do you see all that playing out with the UN meeting, of course, on this next month?
Well, without a doubt, they're trying to maximise the pressure on Israel and on the US by this sort of constant rollout of people coming out in support of the two-state solution. and there's a ceremony or a particular day earmarked at the UN General Assembly on the 23rd of September, where those pledges of support for the recognition of the State of Palestine will take place. Now, the general presumption is that the US would then veto any move by the UN Security Council to let that through, or any other measures that the Security Council might take in response to that. Now, that's a big call for the US, even given President Trump's dismissal of the United Nations as an institution.
This will be a blight on American history if they do veto. It will be like, you know, how, you know, having slavery and you know, the civil Jim Crow and sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Not American, but yeah, slavery, Jim Crow, all those horrible artifacts from their past. It'll definitely be, you know, up there. Obviously, the invasion of Iraq, basically every war, Vietnam, basically every war America's, you know, waged for no reason to just cause untold numbers of civilians' deaths, as well as deaths of their own working class boys, because apparently they go around to poor neighborhoods and recruit kids that, you know, don't really have a lot of options post high school, don't have really the opportunity or the funds to go to university. For a lot of people, the military is their only way out in America. You know, thank God I live in Australia. That's all I freaking have to say. Also, healthcare, things like that. If you join the army, you can access healthcare, right? Whew. Anyway, I do go off on tangents, guys. I do go off on the tangents, but you get what I'm saying. We circle back around in the end usually. Usually we get there. But yeah, just saying, like, this is historically going to be something that the world goes, what the fuck, guys? What the fucking fuck? Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. But look, like, there are ways to circumvent the UN within its own, with the Security Council, the permanent members. There's, you know, a way to circumvent them in extreme circumstances, according to Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. But look, international law is nice. It's written on paper, yada, yada, yada. But a lot of the time people don't adhere to it. And there's not really much that's done about it, really. It's, you know, international law is binding to people who choose to be bound by it. And if you choose not to be bound by it, I mean, there's no reason that, you know, we can't get the band back together, get the Anzacs back together, get the Canadians, get the Poms, and you know, we send some frigates over, we send some planes over, we send some cargo planes over, and we just do it by force. We just do it by force. And if the IDF don't back down, and, you know, if I'm just shooting in this direction and you happen to get in my way, well, you know, you got to play those games sometimes. Yeah, if that's what needs to happen, that's what needs to happen, because at this stage, Israel's been given every single chance to deal with this and to stop doing what they're doing, and they've not ceased. And so, you know, what are we to do at this point than to use force? There's not another option as far as I can see. We can't sit back anymore. That, like, there's been enough deaths, and there's no justification for this scale of loss of life. Not to mention, like, how are the Palestinians ever going to build back their cities and what they've lost? Like, where's all that money going to come from? Like, this is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Given the outrage around the world, for the United States to not sort of support moves to ease the situation in the Gaza Strip and even in the West Bank now, I think is going to require a lot of political capital being eaten up on his part. So I think the question becomes, what does it imply if you actually do recognise a state of Palestine? Most importantly, it requires members of the United Nations to assist and support that state. So that changes the sort of the mechanics of what happens in the region, and it's both Western nations and Arab nations who are behind this push.
Where's the vape story gone? I want to learn about the vapes. Come back, vapes. I miss you. Let's just go back. Let's just use the old-fashioned back.
Now.
No. Be quiet, lady. Nope, we went back too far. Where's the vapes? This is just gonna bring up stuff about vapes. Vapes. Channel 9. Channel 9. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, we found it! Do-do-do. Yay, we found it. Is there sea access to Gaza? There is sea access to Gaza. Let's pull up a map. Map of Gaza. So the Gaza Strip is on the Mediterranean Sea, as you can see here. Lebanon to... Ooh, can we... Lebanon to the north, Egypt to the south. Here we go. So... You think the UN would only need to secure the coast? Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying we storm the beaches. It won't be hard. What are Israel gonna do? Little freaking B words. I'm trying to be a good girl, but yeah. Look, they're only brave when they're facing off against unarmed women and children. Freaking pussies. Freaking pussy ass bitches. Am I allowed to say that? Well, I guess I just did. Fucking dickheads. Fucking fuckwits. Alright, calm down. Don't lose your channel. It's okay. Everything's okay. Let's watch something about vapes. Police uncover... Opioid-laced vapes? Dude, do you know how much an opioid-laced vape would help with my pain? Holy crap. I didn't know this was available. Well, I guess it's not now. God damn it. That would help me so much with my joint pain, guys. That would help me so much. Where do I need to go? Who do I need? Who do I need to see about this? All right, let's... Maybe I can find out. Tell me where to get it.
Heroin.
Ooh, I'm listening.
Nitazene has made its way into vapes and sold on our streets.
Hot.
The alleged
Where do I get
distributor, a 20-year-old man from Sydney's southwest, now charged, and police say
He's from Sydney Southwest. I probably know someone that knows him. Let's be honest. If he lives around Bankstown, I 100% know somebody. Oh my God, I have to get on the phone to my boys and work it out. So where did they find these? They found them in Sydney Southwest. So I'm guessing around Bankstown. Whenever they want to say Bankstown, but they don't want to like say Bankstown, they always say the Southwest. Although the suburb I grew up in is called the Southwest now too.
faceless drop-off system supplied hundreds of potentially lethal doses.
A Revesby home raided by
Revesby. I definitely will know someone that knows them. I will definitely know. All right.
Behind a deadly new high, hidden in plain sight.
They were involved in supplying synthetic opioids in vape liquid vials.
The first drug bust of this kind in Australia. The vape refills laced with nitazene, a synthetic opioid stronger than fentanyl and 500 times...
I had fentanyl last time I was in hospital. Look, I don't know. I thought it would have been better, to be honest. I thought it would have been better. I think the best one I've ever been given is morphine. I think that's the best one.
More potent than heroin. A 20-year-old allegedly behind the sophisticated operation, along with the vape refills advertised online as supercharged.
It was deliberately trading the
Supercharged.
hooking customers for repeat business.
Police allege the dealer increased prices once customers were hooked, charging upwards of $180 per refill, more than triple the cost of vapes containing nicotine, illegally yet commonly sold. It's alleged more than 1,000 transactions were made between March and July, $500,000 in profit for the alleged dealer, whose shopfront was always faceless.
Buyers were sent video files as to where they could find their purchase, and it was up to the buyer then to go and find them, seek them out.
Police say it wasn't until some customers ended up in hospital suffering withdrawal symptoms that they realised they had been inhaling the potentially lethal drug and developed an opioid addiction. With the global supply of botanical opium drying up, lab-made opium...
I need poppies. I need poppies. Does anybody have an innocent nan that's actually accidentally been growing opium poppies? Because I had a friend in high school whose nan was growing opium poppies and she didn't even realize that she was growing them. So if you know any cute old little biddies out there that have done a oopsie, you know. No, I'm just joking. I 100% would never ever ever solicit drugs of anybody. Never ever ever. And is that even legal? It's most definitely not legal, Delta. It is most definitely not legal. But the likelihood that they would charge a little old lady that just thought she had really pretty flowers. Look, opium poppies are incredibly beautiful flowers. I will say that. They are incredibly beautiful. They grow shitloads of them down in Tassie, like shitloads of them, but they grow them for like pharmaceutical companies. But this is the thing, right? Like, there was a point in my life when I was thinking about somehow growing my own opium poppies, right? Because they introduced this thing called SafeScript, where even if you have one of the most painful conditions there is, like rheumatoid arthritis, which I have, where my immune system attacks my connective tissues and it fucking hurts and I am in pain all the time. And some days the pain is unbearable. I can't get even Panadine Fort anymore. I can't get Tramadol anymore. I mean, I can get it, but I can get, you know, like, the odd script here and there, right? I can maybe get like 20 tablets like every 8 weeks or something, which, like, what is that? What is that? That's nothing. Especially when you're supposed to take three Tramadols a day and like two Panadine Forts, you know. So you get, yeah, you get nothing. You get a few days of pain relief, like every few months. And like, what's that? Like, I don't even bother anymore unless I'm screaming. Unless I'm in screaming pain, then I will get my doctor to write a script. But otherwise, I just push through it. But yeah, look, this is so. I don't know. Can we just let adults like be in charge of their own health? Honestly. It was those shit rappers that carked their lives with paracetamol. Oh yeah, it was that fucking dumb Aussie hip hop dickhead that was going and getting the 15 milligram Panadine. It's like Panadine. It's got 500 milligrams of paracetamol and 15 milligrams of codeine, and he got addicted to them. So then he made the government ban it, or he was like leading the charge. Yeah, man, I got addicted to Panadol. Yeah, you fucking idiot. Some of us are actually in pain. Not to mention all the girls out there. Shout out to all the girlies that have endometriosis and or polycystic ovarian syndrome, very painful conditions. And look, like, sometimes you just need your partner or your daddy or, you know, whichever person in your life will drive to the chemist for you in the middle of the night because you're crying on the floor, doubled over, and they go and they get you, you know, at least something to curb the pain. And now we can't even get over-the-counter codeine because of these fucking grogs. Like, you're an idiot. Like, how you're supposed to be like a hip-hop dude. Don't you like know how to buy drugs? How don't you know how to buy drugs? How don't you know how to buy drugs? How didn't you work out that heroin is way cheaper and way more powerful than going to going to the chemist to get 15 milligrams of just regular crack? Well, crack is like a different class of drugs. It's not going to help you with pain. Crack is not going to help you with pain, but opiates will. Well, I'm not a rapper, but I'm just a girl from, you know, from the wrong side of the tracks, if you will. Just a little girl from Western Sydney. Look, like, I don't do drugs, but if I had to get drugs, I could get drugs. If I had to get drugs, if somebody gave me $200 right now and said, go get, insert illicit substance here, I would be able to get that for you. Like, it's not hard. I would know exactly where to go. And I'm not even from Melbourne, and I would know exactly where to go. People offer me drugs all the time. Anyway, not that that's a flex, but you know, guys at pubs especially will like just offer you cocaine. And like if I did cocaine, my heart would explode. I take medication to slow down my heart, all right? I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. All right? But if someone offers you drugs, say thank you, because drugs are expensive, kids, okay? Drugs are expensive.
Opioids are expected to fill the void, cut with other party drugs like cocaine, ecstasy and ketamine.
The real risk is...
It sounds like a party.
And that is very, very serious. It can result in death.
The state government today putting forward its bill to Parliament to crack down on vapes and illegal tobacco.
This reform is about substantially increasing fines to up to $1.5 million, as well as 7 years imprisonment.
This decision is an important one for the state. We need to take this action now.
Hayley Francis, 9 News.
I only just found out about it and they're cracking down on it. That's not fair. No one offers you coke. Have you tried being a cute female? That's usually how you get stuff in life, I've found. I have found it's, I've literally been getting the mail before. This is not where I live now, but in the place I lived before this place, I've been getting the mail and this guy walks up to me and he goes, hey, do you chuff? Like, some guy just walked up to me to, like, offer me weed. Like, what the fuck? That was literally when I was getting the mail. Like, are you okay, mate? Seriously. I don't do any drugs, because the only drugs that I would do would be obviously like prescription opiates that I would get from my doctor. But yeah, I have a sibling who has full-blown schizophrenia, from which was initially drug-induced psychosis that just never went away. And he smoked hella weed. He did everything else as well. He did everything else, like the whole gamut, like cocaine, meth, ketamine, like insert drug name, he did that. And I was caring for him for a year because he didn't have a diagnosis, and my parents couldn't deal with it because they live in a rural area, and also like I'm a social worker and I know how to navigate the mental health, navigate the mental health system. So I had him down here, and he told the psychiatrist that the reason why he did so many drugs was because he had PTSD from watching our mum hit me when we were little. And that made me so sad. I feel bad. I know it's not my fault, but I feel so bad. I'm like, oh, poor little kid. He was like telling her like how traumatizing it was. He was like, yeah, I thought she was gonna kill my sister. And I was like, oh, that made me so sad. Like, I'm sorry I traumatized you into taking drugs. It's fucked up. But yeah, so I think that's definitely like a strong like familial predisposition, a strong genetic disposition to developing like psychosis from drugs. So it's really good that I stay away. And you know, I drink a few times a year. As we know, I drink 3 Wednesdays a year during State of Origin, and then I drink on Christmas. But I have had a few cheeky drinks this year. Just, you know, just a few little sojus here and there, some beers, but you know, haven't gotten like wasted or anything. Just, you know, just a little bit merry. I do like to have a beer with dinner. It is nice. I do like that. Protesters try to breach ADF headquarters to oppose Gaza war. Ooh. I do like to see that. I guess this is Israelis doing that, I would assume. Let's have a look. We do We do like the Israelis that you know, are pushing back on this. We do have to say, you know, not all Israelis are poo-poo heads. Some of them
have tried to force their way into Israel's military headquarters in downtown Tel Aviv, angry at Israeli government plans to expand the war in Gaza. Our Middle East correspondent Eric Torchek reports.
Some of these protesters are relatives of hostages held in Gaza, and they're alarmed by reports that Israel's government is considering expanding the offensive in the Strip even further. They fear that would be a death sentence for those hostages who are still held by Hamas and other militant groups. Nevertheless, Israel's...
See you, Dango. I hope you have a good night.
Cabinet is meeting today to discuss sending Israeli troops into the few parts of Gaza that they don't already control. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says this will pressure the militant group Hamas to sign a favourable ceasefire and release the remaining hostages. But so far, this operation, called Gideon's Chariots, hasn't produced that result. Instead, it's led to growing international condemnation of Israel's actions and for the outcomes of that operation inside Gaza, which is widespread famine-like conditions, according to the UN, and a rising civilian death toll, with more than 60,000 Gazans killed by Israel's military action since October the 7th. The Chief of Staff of Israel's military has warned against expanding the offensive even further, basically saying that military pressure hasn't achieved what the government wanted it to, and urging them to go back to the negotiating table to get a ceasefire done with Hamas. Hamas has withstood the pressure that Israel applied, has seen the pressure from outside, from Israel's allies grow, and with many of them threatening to recognise a Palestinian state as a consequence for Israel's blocking of food and other aid from entering the Gaza Strip, and the severe deterioration.
It is the Nakba all over again. It is the Nakba. It's just finishing the job off, essentially, isn't it? It's just finishing the job off.
In the humanitarian conditions there, and it has not strayed from its key demands, chief among which are that Israel end the war and fully withdraw its troops from the Gaza Strip. In the meantime, while this debate goes on, the death toll in Gaza continues to be very high. The Ministry of Health in the Strip says 135 people were killed by Israeli fire in a 24-hour period from Tuesday to Wednesday.
Wow. Pardon me, I'm thirsty. I'm really tired. How's everyone in chat feeling? Because if everybody's sleepy, I mean, I know Delta's sleepy. If everyone in chat is freaking sleepy, we can probably just have a short one tonight. Maybe go hard tomorrow on Friday night. Doof, doof, doof. Euro trash. Have a Euro trash. Time in the club. Israel never intended to abide by any agreement anyway. Not the UN mandate, not the Oslo Accords, not whatever New Deal we get. Yeah, no, they never had any intention. They always let this kick off with. I mean, they knew that the 7th of October attacks were going to happen, and they allowed them to happen, so they would have a pretext for all of this to kick off. It must be the Gippsland water. Maybe there's extra fluoride in it. Maybe it's going to turn you gay like the frogs, Delta. Maybe it's going to turn you gay like the frogs. Like the Alex Jones frogs. Friday party? Yeah, we can have a Friday party. We can have a Friday party. Look, I'm definitely feeling fluey as. And, yeah, I think I might make a proper video about chapter 7 and, already bi, so you're immune. Oh, that's always good. That's always good. I went through a phase. But, yeah. I went through a phase. Boop, 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 boop. All right, well, if that's that, then I guess we can peace out and you know, go with God, my children. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. that doesn't leave much, honestly. If I was healthy, you know, be good. Be good out there. Except, unless you, as long as you're not hurting anyone, do what you want, I guess. Is my words of wisdom for tonight. All right, guys. See you later. See you next time. Bye. Boop.